Helen Toner is a former board member of OpenAI and has actually said that the board didn't know about the original 2022 launch of ChatGPT until afterwards, and that they only found out about it on, well, Twitter or X. Let's bring in Bloomberg's Seth Fiegerman for more on what seems to be more discussion in the press coming from Helen Toner. She had already written a piece with Tash as well, another previous board member, about some of their worries about AI governance. This keeps building.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable to have a former board member who's just going rogue at this point and really bashing the company, or at least its current leadership. The claim about ChatGPT is remarkable. Here's their biggest, best-known product, and they're saying that the board had no previous awareness that it was going to be launched. Now, there's a caveat there. When they released this product, it was kind of a slow burn initially. People didn't know it was going to be as big as it became. But the bigger takeaway from this piece is that she's really getting at the idea that there was a long series of times where they were either misinformed, uninformed, or felt like they were being manipulated by Sam Altman. And for months now, it's been a guessing game in and out of Silicon Valley. What precipitated the ouster last year? This is really the most that we've seen so far that gets at that question.
Seth, as you know, I remember the weekend of Sam Altman's ouster. Helen Toner didn't pick up the phone. She hadn't had much to say then. In the last 24 hours or 48 hours, she's had quite a lot to say. But the issue is the relationship with Sam. This is something Sam Altman told Bloomberg last year. Have a listen.
You have an incredible amount of power at this moment in time. Why should we trust you?
You shouldn't. I think at this moment in time, people deserve basically as much time asking questions as they want. And I'm trying to show up and do it. But more to that, no one person should be trusted here. I don't have super voting shares. I don't want them. The board can fire me. I think that's important.
So at its root, there's Sam Altman pushing to commercialize the technology, and then there's different iterations of the board who seem unaware. I don't really know where to go next with that.
Well, you're right. Again, it's pretty remarkable. I think there's been a drip from Helen as she's become a little bit more comfortable being public about her concerns. You're right. For months, we really couldn't get much detail. What we had heard was essentially that there was a long simmering buildup of mistrust and miscommunication. And in her latest statements, we're seeing a little bit more on that.
Seth, the current context is that you can't trust Sam when it comes to discussions with celebrities, when it comes to... That ultimately is what people are now realizing, rightly or wrongly. What was cast into the public discourse has, of course, been Scarlett Johansson and the calls, at what time they happened, and OpenAI really trying to lay out the order of occurrence of when they discussed using the voice of Scarlett Johansson and when they'd already talked to actors and actresses. Right. But there is a feeling of distrust growing.
I think so. And I think they're taking pains now to be as transparent as they can be. What's funny is that for all of the tension that they've had with board members, never cross a famous actress. I think that's where you're going to really lose the public.